Greetings and welcome to the Haiku Pond, a place to ponder life through haiku. My name is Anthony and I'm the caretaker of the pond. In this episode, I want to take a moment to introduce myself and why I love haiku. So let's take a deep breath and dive into the pond. Let's start with an introduction. I could read the bio on my website or tell my life story from the beginning, but that seems redundant, boring, and out of place. For starters, my name is Anthony Nanfito. I'm also known as Tony Fifi, but you're welcome to simply call me Anthony. There are a number of things in this world that I love and I'm grateful for. But for the sake of time, I'll limit the list in this episode to name just a few. For starters, I'm a huge science nerd. So much so I even have a podcast for that. I just love reading and absorbing all I can about science, to the point that I needed an outlet for it, and a podcast seemed like the best choice. I use all that deep diving into science to feed my own curiosity, but also to inspire the science fiction stories I like to write. In fact, I self-published my first novel in April of 2020, and I'm currently working on my second novel, hopefully to be published later this year. Deep down, I've loved storytelling for a long time, and I've had many forays into its realm. But it wasn't until a few years ago that I began to take it seriously, and I'm continually grateful for it. Storytelling is a truly unique practice among humans, and it's inside all of us. The more I practice and learn about it, the more I learn about myself, the world, and our place within it. I hope you'll join me on this adventure of storytelling, learning, and being human. This podcast will focus on haiku, but I think the soul of poetry comes down to the aforementioned adventure. We're all storytellers, we're all learners, and we're all human. It's clear I have a deep appreciation for haiku. Why else would I dedicate my Instagram to them, start a podcast about them, and plan to publish a book full of them, right? I've enjoyed writing haiku since I was first introduced to them in junior high school English class. I was particularly drawn to them because they were short and they presented a creative challenge to express one's feelings and ideas in a limited number of syllables and lines. Right now, as part of my writing practice, I tend to stay within the 5-7-5 syllable rule, but I'm aware it's not a strict guideline for all haiku. However, for me, trying to find creative ways to express myself in limited syllables is what first drew me to haiku and continues to draw me back. That said, I have been known to get a little rebellious and add or subtract a syllable or two within the lines of my haiku. Life's too short to always follow the rules. In 2020, the world and the rules changed, quite abruptly. The analogy that first comes to my mind, and I think I used this at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, is that of a snow globe. You know, like the ones often used as Christmas decorations. Well, I felt the world was a snow globe, and some excited toddler named Life decided to shake it up. Everything was turned upside down and things were flying through the air. The year 2019 and the ones before it did not prepare me or anyone else for the chaotic snow globe world. But I found solace in haiku. At first, it started as a daily challenge. I knew I liked them, and I also knew in order to get better at something, you need to practice it often. Sometimes I wrote about what I saw, felt, or imagined. Eventually, that daily challenge became a daily ritual. A ritual encapsulated in mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude. Ultimately, what I discovered over time is the act of writing haiku helped me slow down. It helped me capture moments that now seem far away. It also helped me realize what I'm grateful for, especially as the year 2020 continued to unfold. I'll be honest, I've been luckier than most during this past year, and I'm eternally grateful for it. But it wasn't all peaches and roses. Is that even a saying? Did I just make it up? If not, let me know where it originates from. I'm curious. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. The past year has been a rough year for every human being on this planet. But writing haiku helped me keep my sanity. There were so many times where I just felt utterly powerless and helpless. Especially as an American citizen living overseas, watching the chaos, death, and destruction that unraveled in the U.S. during the year 2020. However, when I wrote haiku, it helped me find some peace in an increasingly chaotic world, even if it was only for a moment. And this is what I want to bring to you in this podcast. I want to help us all find a little peace and a little something to be grateful for as we navigate this chaotic world and try to make our lives a bit better, even if it's only for a moment. One haiku at a time. That's the end of this bonus episode of the Haiku Pond. Before I leave you, I have a few housekeeping items to attend to. First, if you're someone who has a haiku they want shared on the show, please send an email to thehaikupond@gmail.com or leave a voice message at anchor.fm/thehaikupond. Unless you want to remain anonymous with your submission, please include your name and where to find you on social media. The themes for Season 1 are mindfulness, gratitude, compassion, love and loss, give and forgive. Season 1 launches May 3rd, 2021, and submissions will be accepted until April 19th, 2021. Poets can submit one haiku per theme. The haiku can be previously published or unpublished. By submitting your haiku, you give permission for me to share it, and the haiku can follow the 575 syllable rule or simply be a 3-line poem. Second, you can get updates about the podcast by following it on Twitter at the Haiku Pond. You can find me on Twitter at wordsbyfifi and on Instagram at haikubyfifi. If you ever have anything you want to share about haiku, the podcast, or anything else, please feel free to reach out to me. Until next time, take care of yourself, and thanks for listening. Thanks for visiting the Haiku Pond. If you've been inspired by what you've heard, please share the show with a friend. For more haiku, you can follow me on Instagram at haikubyfifi. And for podcast updates, follow the pod on Twitter at the Haiku Pond. For more episodes, visit anchor.fm/thehaikupond.